Hello my dear friends, I hope you're doing super duper wonderful wherever you are in this beautiful world. And in today's video, as promised in my recent YouTube short, I'll show you how I've made this laptop open animation. And what's awesome about this laptop animation is that it is absolutely customizable. You can insert your own text, you can insert your own pictures or even your own videos. And one more thing, this laptop is actually not a 3D model. I've just used a couple of simple shapes and photos, added a bit of 3D depth, and some interesting morph perspective rotation that you're going to learn about in this video. And before we continue, I just want to say huge thanks to Presentation Design Mastery PowerPoint Skills for inspiring today's video. He has made this awesome flipping phone animation, link is in the video description, make sure you subscribe to his channel. And hopefully in today's video I'll give you a few more ideas on how you could use this incredible animation for a laptop animation. So, let's go! Okay my dear friends, let's jump into the magical world of PowerPoint, and I'm jumping into PowerPoint Microsoft 365. And now let me show you how this animation works by using a couple of simple shapes. And first of all, as you can see, I have this beautiful gradient fill applied to my slide. And if you'd like to have the same gradient fill, make sure you right click on your slide and go to Format Background. And make sure that your slide is using a gradient fill. And now let me just show you the hex colors that I'm using over here. So the first color has this hex code that looks like this, 692DFF, okay. And now the second color has this hex code that looks like this, 0D002C. So of course, having this beautiful gradient fill is not necessary for this animation to work, but if you'd like to have the same look, now you know the hex codes. Okay my friends, and now let's just quickly create a simple little laptop, and we can do that by going to Insert, Shapes, and now let's just pick the Rounded Rectangle tool. And now let's just draw a little rounded rectangle over here. This is going to be our little keyboard. Let's just align it to the middle of the slide. And let's make sure that we jump into the Format Shape, and let's make sure there is no transparency, no line. And now for the fill color, let me just choose some dark gray color, for example like this. Okay, and now let's just hold down the Ctrl-Shift keys and let's just drag a copy upwards, just like that. This is going to be our laptop screen. Let's just change the color to black, okay. And now let's attach it to the keyboard, just like that, okay. And now, my friends, we can just hold down the Control key to duplicate this black screen. Let's change the fill color to white. Let's just resize this white screen and let's just align it to the middle of this black screen, just like that. And of course, we can adjust a bit how this white screen looks inside of this black screen. That's beautiful. And now let's just select both of these guys and let's hit Ctrl-G to group them into a single group, just like that, okay? So now we have a keyboard and we have a screen. So now let's see what happens if we would like to rotate this keyboard. So let's make sure that this shape is selected. Let's go to 3D rotation options and let's just pick any of the perspective presets, okay? We can choose any of the perspective presets. It doesn't really matter because we're going to change the numbers, but let's just pick this one. It is called Perspective Relaxed Moderately, okay? Let's click on it. And as you can see right away, the keyboard changes, okay? So over here we get a couple of numbers. So for the Y rotation we have this number, and for the perspective we have this number. And let's just try clicking on these Y rotation handles, and as you can see, the keyboard is just basically flipping alongside its middle axis, okay? And we would like to actually for this keyboard to rotate along the edge where it connects to the screen, okay? So how can we make that happen? Because currently, as you can see, it's just rotating alongside its middle axis. And to fix this, we have to create a new rotation center for this keyboard. So first of all, let me just reset the rotation. And to create a new rotation center, first of all, let me just move this keyboard a bit to the side. Let's just duplicate this keyboard. So once again, we can hold down Ctrl-Shift keys and drag a copy upwards. And now let's just attach it to the bottom keyboard, okay? And now let's just select both of these guys and let's hit Ctrl-G to group them. And this way, my friends, we have created a new rotation center. As you can see, these two bubbles in the middle, they basically show us where this or how this shape is going to be rotating. So let's just try applying that same perspective rotation preset. Here it is. And as you can see now, let me just bring this keyboard to the middle of the slide, just like that. And now as you can see, this keyboard is flipping alongside the edge, okay? But of course we don't want to see this second keyboard, so we can just select it. Let's go into the fill options and let's choose no fill, so this way we can only see this bottom keyboard. And now it is rotating the way we want it to rotate. That's beautiful. This way we have created a new rotation axis for the keyboard. And now, my friends, is a good point to talk about the 3D depth of this keyboard, because currently it's absolutely flat and it is thin, it has no depth. So let's make sure that the keyboard is selected. Let's go to 3D format options, okay. And now for the depth, let's add, for example, 10 points. And as you can see right away, this keyboard has some depth. But the corners are pretty sharp, so we can make them a bit rounded. So to do that, we can add some bevels. So once again, let's jump into the 3D format options. And for the bottom bevel, let's try inserting 5 points for the width and 5 points for the height. And now as you can see, we get this rounded look. Let me just rotate this keyboard a bit more upwards so that we can see it better. And let's just rotate it upwards just like that. And yes, as you can see, we get a bit of this rounded edge. That's nice. Okay, so let's just zoom out. And now, my friends, let's do the same for the screen, okay? And I think it's a good point to make sure that we name our layers in the selection pane so that later on we know which layer is, which layer. So this is keyboard. Let's just send it downwards in the selection pane. And this is going to be our screen. So let's just duplicate the screen because we'll have to change the rotation axis for the screen as well. And let's just make sure that we attach it to the bottom of the first screen. That's good. And now let's just select both of these screens. Let's hit Ctrl G to group them. And let's just call them screen. Okay. That's beautiful. And now for this bottom screen, let's make sure that we select this white part and the black part. And let's just choose no fill. Okay, so that we can only see the top screen. And now for this top screen, let's make sure that we add the same perspective rotation preset. Okay, let's go to 3D rotation and let's go to perspective, and here is the preset that we want. Okay, and now let's just try rotating it to this side over here. That's beautiful. And once again, let's add some 3D depth. So let's just use 10 points for the size, and for the bottom bevel, let's use 5 width for the width and 5 for the height. Looking beautiful. And next, my friends, let's just make sure that both of these laptop parts are nicely aligned to the middle of the slide. So let me just turn on the slide guides and let's make sure that we select the screen. Let's align it to the middle of the slide. Okay, and let's do the same for the keyboard. Okay, so now it is sitting, both of these guys are sitting nicely in the center of the slide. We can turn off those slide guys. And now let's just fully close the laptop. Okay, so we can select the screen. Let's go into the 3D rotation options. And now for the Y rotation, I think we should rotate the screen exactly to the 90 degrees. Okay, let's just type 90 degrees. That's good. And now for the keyboard, let's make sure that we go into the 3D rotation options. For the keyboard, I think we should set it to 270. Okay, so let's just try inserting 270. Here it is. And now the laptop is fully closed. That's nice. Okay, my friends, so now we can just duplicate this slide, okay? And now let's make sure that for the duplicate slide, we apply the morph transition. Morph transition will do all of the animation magic. And we can as well choose, we can specify the duration for the morph transition, but let's just leave it at 2 seconds. And now let me just select the screen. We can use the selection pane. Okay, so let's make sure that the screen is selected. And now in the perspective rotation options, let me just, for the Y rotation, insert 0 degrees. Okay, that's good. Now let's make sure that the keyboard is selected. And for the keyboard, we can insert, for example, 290. Okay, so that the keyboard just goes a little bit downwards, just like that. And now it should be working just like that. That's beautiful. Let's just check it out on the full screen. So this is the first slide, and once we transition to the next slide, the laptop opens up. That's beautiful. We can go back to the previous slide. The laptop closes, and once we go into the next slide, once again, the laptop opens up. That's super duper awesome. So now, my friends, you know how this animation works. And now let me show you how we can create that realistic looking laptop. So let's just close out this slide. Let's insert a new slide, and now we'll have to use a photo of a laptop from the top view, okay, looking from the top. And over here I have this photo. Super thanks to freepik.com for providing this photo. So let's just select it, let's just copy it, and let's paste it into our slide. Here it is. And now we'll have to basically cut out only the keyboard. We'll have to cut out the keyboard. And to cut out the keyboard, we can just, first of all, let me just close the notes. We can go into Insert tab. Let's go to Shapes. We can choose the rounded rectangle tool. And now we can just basically cover the whole keyboard. And once we cover the keyboard, we can select the photo, hold down the Shift key, select this gray shape, and go to Shape Format, Merge Shapes, and choose Intersect. And this way you can cut out the keyboard. Of course, I did not a very precise job of selecting that keyboard. So over here I have already prepared this shape. So let me just copy this shape, and let's get back to our beautiful slide over here, and let's paste that shape. And now we can just select the laptop photo, hold down the Shift key, select the shape. Let's go to Shape Format, Merge Shapes, and choose Intersect. Or you can use the Quick Access toolbar and place the merge shape functions inside of the Quick Access toolbar and choose Intersect from there. Okay, my friends, and next let's make sure that this keyboard is nicely touching the middle of the slide, just like this. And I will have to set a new rotation center for this keyboard. So we can do that in a couple of ways. We can, of course, just duplicate this photo and make it fully transparent. Or I think we can just insert a simple shape and make sure that it has the same dimensions as this keyboard photo. So let's make sure that this rectangle has the same width. Okay. And now let me just check the height of this keyboard. It is 9.36. Okay, let's copy this value and let's use the same value for this rectangle as well. Okay, let's just make sure it touches the middle of the slide. Just like that. That's beautiful. And now we can select both of these guys. Let's hit Ctrl G, and of course let's make sure that this rectangle is not visible, no fill, no line. And now we can turn off the slide guides. Okay, and now let's try adding that perspective rotation to this keyboard. Let's see what happens. So in the 3D rotation presets, let's go to perspective and let's just choose this one. Okay, relaxed moderately, and skadoosh, we get this rotating keyboard. That's nice. And once again, let's add a bit of 3D formatting. So first of all, a bit of depth. And this time let's use 3 points for the depth, okay, and 5 points for the bottom bevel, for the width, and for the height. Okay, let's just rotate it a bit upwards so that we can see how it looks like. Okay, it's looking beautiful. Okay, my friends, and now let's do that screen. And for the screen, I have pretty much done the same steps that we have done for this little laptop. So I think somewhere over here I have a rounded rectangle that is black and a white rounded rectangle. Okay, so let me just copy these guys and let's paste them into our slide. Okay, and let's just make sure that everything is still nicely centered, looking good. And one important thing is to make sure that this black shape, this black rounded rectangle, has the same dimensions as this shape that we have used to cut out the keyboard. Okay, because this way everything is going to be looking easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now for this screen, let's just select both of these guys, let's just group them. Okay, and now once again we have to change the rotation center, and for that we can just drag a copy downwards. Okay, let's make sure that we select both of these screens into a single group. And now let me just jump inside and let me just select both of these guys at the bottom, and let's make sure they have no fill, no line. Okay. And now let's just add a perspective rotation to the screen as well. So let's go to perspective rotation. Let's use the same preset. Okay. And let's just start clicking on this Y rotation handle until we get something like this. And of course we have to add some depth to this screen as well. So let's jump into the 3D format options as well. And for the depth, let's use 3 points. So the same 3 points that we used for the keyboard. And let's use bottom bevel of 5 points. And 5 points for the width and 5 points for the height. And I think now we have a beautiful screen and a keyboard. So let's just make sure that this laptop is fully shut. So let's just insert 90 degrees for the screen, and for the keyboard let's insert 270 degrees. Okay, we can turn off this light, guys, and now this laptop is fully closed. That's beautiful. And now we can just duplicate this slide, and let's make sure that the duplicate slide has the morph transition applied to it. Duration 2 seconds. And now let me just open up the screen. So once again, let me just make sure that this is the screen. We can name it. Okay, and the bottom one is keyboard. Okay, so let's select a screen, and for the Y rotation, let's just type in 0. And let's make sure that in the rest of the fields we have zeros as well. So for the X rotation, for the Y rotation, and for the Z rotation, let's make sure we have 0. And for the perspective, let's leave it at 45. And this way this screen will be open. And let's just see what happens. Looking beautiful. And now for the keyboard, let's bring it down a bit as well. So let's just use, for example, 290. Okay. And now we can select both of these guys, I mean the screen and the keyboard, and let's just bring everything downwards, just like this. And now we should get this beautiful animation. That's awesome. And now, my friends, if we wish, we can just double click on the screen and we can type in some text. Type some text inside. Type some text inside, okay. Because, you know, this is just a shape and we can type in anything that we wish. So let's just make sure we copy this text, and let's get back to the previous slide. Let me just quickly select the screen. So this was the screen. Let's make sure that it is open, and let's just type in the same text. Okay. And now we can close it once again. So for the Y rotation, let's use 90. Whoops. Okay. And now let's just check it out on the full screen, and now we should have the same text on this slide and on the second slide, and this way this text animation is going to be looking super duper delicious. Okay, my friends, so next let me show you how we can insert a picture into this laptop. And once again, let's just jump into my assets section, and over here I have this beautiful picture. It is from FreePic once again. Thank you so much. And now let's just copy this photo, hit Ctrl+C to copy. And now let's get back to our slide. We can close the notes. And now let's just make sure that we select this white shape, okay? And now for the fill, let's choose picture and let's choose clipboard. And this way we have pasted this picture inside of the screen. That's super duper awesome. And now let's just make sure that we select the screen and let's set the font color to white so that we can see that text. And now we can select the screen, hit Ctrl+Shift+C to copy the style. And we can apply the same style for the screen on the previous slide. So once again, let's just make sure that we open up that screen. So for the perspective rotation, let's just choose, for the Y rotation, let's choose 0. And now let's select the screen and let's hit Ctrl+Shift+V to paste the style. So now we have the same photo on this slide and on this slide, okay? But on this slide, of course, let's make sure that we close the screen. So for the Y rotation, it's 90. And now let's check it out on the full screen. Skadoosh! So now we have a beautiful photo inside of the laptop. And next, my friends, let's do the video. Okay? Let's just keep on going. Okay, and once again, let's jump into my assets section, and over here we have this stock video provided by PowerPoint. If you have latest PowerPoint version or PowerPoint 365, then you should be able to go to Insert tab, Video, and over here you should see stock videos. That's awesome. Okay, my friends, so now let's make sure that we crop this video exactly to the size of our laptop screen. And here is the shape. This is that white shape. That is our screen. So let me just copy this shape. Let's paste it over here. And now let's make sure that we align both of these guys to the middle and to the center, just like that. And if we wish, we can resize the video. Just let's make sure that it doesn't go inside of the screen, just like that. We want the whole screen covered. That's beautiful. And now let's select the video. Let's select the screen shape. Let's go to Merge Shapes and let's choose Intersect. Okay. So now this video is perfectly cropped. And next, my friends, let's just copy this video, okay, and we're going to paste it as a picture, first of all, into our screen. So let's make sure that the screen is selected. Let's go into the fill options. Let's make sure that the picture or texture fill is activated. Let's click on clipboard. And this way we have, first of all, pasted our video as a picture, okay. And now let's just paste in the video itself. So here's the video. Let's copy it. And let's just paste it over here, okay? And let's make sure that we precisely align it to the screen of the laptop, just like that. Okay. And now let's make sure that we add a couple of animations to this video. So let's go into animations, animation pane. And first of all, we would like this video to slowly appear. So for that, we can add a fade animation. Let's make sure it starts with previous. Animation duration 1 second. Okay. So once this slide loads, this video should fade in. And at the same time, let's make sure that this video starts playing automatically. So with previous. Okay, so let's check it out on the full screen. And of course, on this slide, I have forgotten to change to update the screen, but I think it should still be working just fine, okay? So as you can see on the previous slide, we had that green photo, but that's okay. We can just open up the laptop and enjoy the video. That's super duper awesome. Congratulations, my friends! Now you know how you can insert text, pictures, or videos into this laptop that you can create absolutely just using PowerPoint. That's super duper awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I think this was a bit of a lengthy tutorial, but now you know a lot of things. So as you can see, my friends, the world of PowerPoint animations is truly fascinating. And if you would be interested in a structured way to master PowerPoint animations, then I would definitely recommend PowerPoint Animation Mastery course, where I gradually teach you all of the animation secrets until you become a PowerPoint animation pro. The time has come to create all of the PowerPoint animations that you have ever wanted. Let's go!